Good morning. Okay, we're going to do some chip carving. This is going to be a little quickie, so bear with me. I'm going to do a longer teaching video on chip carving later on, where I'll show you how to do layers and do a design and make a frame. But right now, several people have asked me for just a little instructions, so I'll give them to you. Okay, I started out with a pocket knife, but I can't find my pocket knife. So these are whittling knives that I bought from a guy that made them years ago, and as you can see, this one's got a lot of action. This is my favorite blade. This blade seems to be a little bit long for me for doing this type of carving. Okay, I'm going to show you what I started off with. MDF board. I think this is 3/4 inch. Some of it's hard as a rock, some of it's a little softer. You get your knife sharp, you learn how to sharpen it. And ladies, please, do it yourself. Don't have your husband sharpen it. Women can usually sharpen knives better than men, and once they learn how to do it, it's not that hard. And you buy a knife that fits your hand, not his hand, your hand. You go pick out your little pocket knife yourself. Don't expect him to know all the answers, because he's going to be buying or selling you what fits him, what he thinks as a man. You need it for a woman's hand. Okay, that's a sharpening stone. This is a strop. You can learn on those. I started out and chip carved for years with just one of these little stones, with that and some water. Okay, MDF board. This is what I started off with, plain MDF board. Then, just because I'm going to do a painting on it, I did this. This is modeling paste, because I didn't want to put the modeling paste on after I chip carved it, because it'd fill up my chips. So I'm showing you every little step. Okay, then I gessoed it black. I'm thinking that way you can see better the chips that I carve. And I wanted black to paint over. See, it's no big deal. Same MDF board. Now let's get started. And that baloney about doing this away from you all the time is baloney. It doesn't work. Now, I haven't done this in several years, so we're going to have to practice. One cut, one cut. Yep, there's one. Not so great, but it's one. Yeah, that stuff's not too tough. I forgot to get the pretty Band-Aids out. I'm sorry. I always buy pretty Band-Aids, and it is rare for me to cut myself carving. I cut myself in the kitchen all the time, tomatoes especially. Bleed all over those tomatoes. But this stuff, you use something. See how I'm using my hand, my thumb, as to pull, let the knife do it. If it's dragging too bad, your knife's dull. Stop and sharpen it. And my knife is a little dull. See the design that's making? That's really neat. The guys did this on old ships. They took apart cigar boxes, fruit boxes, that kind of stuff, cut them up into pieces, sit and did this to pass the time. Then when they got to port or the train, if they were hobos, when the train got to town, the next town they jumped off on, they sold this stuff. They sold mirrors, they did pieces of furniture, they did everything. They did picture frames, smokers, you know, people put their cigarette out in, everything. I collect it. I'm addicted to it. And I've done quite a bit of it. Oh yeah, this is a good piece. Yes, you can chip carve basswood, not balsa. Balsa does not carve. It's too soft. Bass, B-A-S-S. But you got to buy it the thickness you want, and you have to go, you can't get it at like Lowe's or Home Depot or something. You've got to go to a specialized wood store. Don't try to carve to the end. It's not going to work. It'll chip off on you. I learned to carve MDF because it was accessible, cheaper, and it doesn't have any grain. I hope you're seeing this. Oh, and the reason, if you've watched any of my other videos, and I paint right-handed, and I'm doing this left-handed, actually, I'm left-handed. But in school, dear Mrs. Knox, I'll make her famous, didn't know how to teach me to write left-handed, so I had to write right-handed. And last time I heard, she's belly dancing in Vegas. No, I'm teasing. She was really a sweet teacher. She just didn't get it. And so, I do everything with my left hand except if it's to be held with a pencil or in that position. And power carving. The tools that, when I started out, they only turned in the direction for a right-handed carver. So I had to carve with them right-handed. Now they make left-handed ones. But I quit power carving, so I don't care what they make now. See how fast this goes? Now lots of people love doing it out of natural wood, and they love staining it, and they love that look. I like color. And what I'll do is this will form a decorative edge around the painting. And I might even paint inside the little doodads. This is so relaxing to do for me. Once you get the hang of it, I can do this for hours. Or in fact, I used to. And if you rub blisters, you know that blue painter's tape? I just wrap my thumb in it, wrap my finger in it, wherever I start getting a blister or a sore spot, works just fine. Or Band-Aid, but Band-Aids don't seem to hold on to the friction. They make a carver's tape, but it reminds me of that blue tape, so that's what I use now. I just wrap, wrap, wrap. Sometimes if it won't turn loose, don't try to force it. Just cut it from the other direction. What am I doing? There we go. Look how fast we did two sides. Isn't that amazing? I'm telling you, you can do this. But don't be crazy with the knife. Let it do the work. And make sure you have everything braced. You know? Don't expect to go like this, and it work. It's not going to work. If my phone doesn't stop ringing, excuse me while I hang up on me.